Hello everybody, and welcome back to my channel as always. So for today's video, I'm sure if you look at the title, I will be showing you guys how to cover up a black eye or a bruise. It's really not that difficult once you actually understand color theory, which again, if you need a color theory video, I have one on my channel. God, I've been pushing the color theory like crazy. I love color theory, and it is so important for everybody to know, not just makeup artists, everybody. But anyways, enough on my high horse. Again, I'm going to put a disclaimer in here. I'm probably going to say it 20 million times, just so nobody assumes anything crazy happened. My boyfriend and I went sledding, and I had an accident. I completely ate shit, and yeah, fell headfirst into the snow. Actually, it was like snow and ice, so it was awful. So again, just putting that out there. Don't need anybody assuming anything crazy. Please. Thank you. All right. If you guys want to know how to cover up a bruise or a black eye or anything along those lines, then go ahead and keep on watching. Okay, so here we are. So you can see it's obviously not looking too hot. Again, huge disclaimer. Let me put that out there before other people start assuming things. This is from sledding. I will put a clip here somewhere and you guys can see. The other day, we in Chicago got a crap ton of snow. So my boyfriend and I, we didn't have any sleds. So we decided to go to Target and buy an air mattress, which worked phenomenally well, a little bit too well. And we went flying. It goes really, really fast. And I ate complete shit and hit my head on some ice. Pretty sure, obviously, completely this eye. So Steven and I decided to go sledding, and of course there's a ton of people here, and we didn't have a sled, and I called probably about 20 different stores. So we're literally blowing up an air mattress on top of my car in hopes that an air mattress will work for sledding. Oh God. Oh my God, look how deep the snow is. It's like 2 feet. Holy shit. I'm dying. Oh my God, it's so scary.
Hold on. Oh, my bad, sorry. There she goes.
So yeah, it's surprisingly, it's not really too swollen, so I can open it pretty well. It's mostly swollen like up here, which the thing about black eyes is, even because I hit it up here, because the first day it was just a tiny little like mark, but because I slept on it, all the blood ended up pooling over here. So that's typically what happens with black eyes is, you can hit it somewhere over here. Let's say you sleep on your right side, all the blood will pool over to the inner corner. So mine went down onto the lash line, of course. So first things first, we can't just put any like foundation or concealer on top, because if we do that, this is such a dark color, it's not going to completely cancel it out. So using our color theory techniques, we need to cancel out the discoloration first. So let me zoom out actually, so I'm not so uncomfortably close to you all. For the products that I want to show you guys, typically for a bruise, so bruises when they first happen, they're very, very dark like this, and then you can even see up here where it's starting to heal, it's a little more green. So the bruises will, at the worst point, be like a very dark bluish purple. Then it'll start going to reddish purple, and then it'll start turning that like red green, and then green to yellow, and then pretty much that like gross yellowy color, and then the bruise is healed. So depending on the stage of your bruise, if it's more of like a greeny yellow, I would use more of like a peachy toned color. But since this is really, really dark, and again, this technique, excuse me, this technique is going to be great for any bruises, not just a black eye. So for the products that I want to use, the color that I want to use to cancel this out is, again, you want to think of complementary colors. So since the majority of this is pretty purple, the opposite of purple is going to be yellow. However, since this is not pure purple, it's got a mixture of purple and blue. The opposite of blue would be orange, correct. So again, you don't want to use, what did I just do with it? This is a liquid lipstick, so this is just for example. This is extremely orange. This is like way, way, way too neon because again, this isn't a true blue or a true purple. So why would you use a true orange? So instead you want to use kind of something more of like a rusty orange. So this one is by Makeup Atelier and it's a liquid color and it's kind of like terracotta-y. So you can see here. It's almost like the color of my sweatshirt, actually. So it's not like orange. I'll do a swatch of the liquid lipstick just to show you guys in comparison of like a true orange versus this rusty color. So you can see there is a huge difference. And then I also have here, again, this one's by Makeup Atelier Paris. It's more of a liquid, and then I have, this is by e.l.f. Cosmetics. It says to correct dark circles for deeper skin tones. And it's just a twist one. And this one is a cream. So you can see the two bottom ones are very similar to each other. Again, we don't want to use this super neon color. Plus the neon color, it's just not dark and opaque enough to actually cover up the black circle or the black eye. So for the product today that I'm going to use, because this is so dark, I noticed the Face Atelier, because it's more liquidy, it is not going to be as opaque as a cream would. Now, if you're going to be putting eyeshadow on top, which I tried the other day, and oh, it hurt. So, doing the cream may just get a little too cakey because you'll have to do multiple layers of this, and then the eyeshadow primer, and then your eyeshadow itself. So it may just get really cakey. So if that's the case, then you might want to use more of a liquid, a thinner consistency, since you'll be putting eyeshadow on top anyways. That should hopefully cover this. So, just a little tidbit. All right, into the actual application. First things first, again, I'm going to use the e.l.f. one, which is the cream. So my eyelid is clean. It is a little bit shiny just from the natural oils. But other than that, there's nothing else on there. I did wipe it down. So what I'm going to do is, because you can see the green part up here, it's not too bad. So I'm hoping that foundation or concealer itself should just be enough, because again, I'm just doing like a base like this eye. I'm not going to be putting any eyeshadow or anything over it. So I'm going to take the e.l.f. and very carefully, because again, this is very swollen and it hurts, I'm going to very opaquely cover up all of the dark areas, which is pretty much my whole eyelid, a little bit down here. Now, when you're applying it, you want to not leave all of these edges here, because what you're going to do is you're going to apply this, powder, conceal, and just keep going back and forth. So what I like to do is, because this is a cream, I'm going to use my ring finger, and because the heat from my finger should kind of help warm up the cream and move it rather than using a sponge, because again, this is a very delicate area, and like I said, it hurts to the touch, so I want to be very cautious. So all I'm doing is just very lightly just blending out the edges so that there's not just a harsh line. And so I can still see some of the darkness, so I'm going to go back in and add a second layer. And then again, going back in with my finger. Which again, this is the reason why a lot of people will use an orangey color to color correct their under eyes, is because again, if you think about your dark circles are very close to the color of a bruise. So this is why that tends to work very well. Okay, so there's still a little bit of darkness on this side. I'm not going to worry about it too much right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take, this is the Morphe powder, it's just loose translucent. And you can use either like a powder puff, or I'm just going to take a sponge and very lightly press this on. I prefer using a loose powder over a pressed one, just because the loose I feel like actually really sets the makeup in. Okay, so now looking at it, obviously it's really orange. But what we want to look for is not the orange itself. We want to see if there's any darkness coming through. So again, right down in here, you can see there's still a tiny bit of the bruise showing. So this is where I'm going to go in with third layer and only cover the areas that still need just a tiny bit of coverage. Again, tapping that out and then doing the exact same thing, taking some powder and pressing that in. So now that this is set, again, the reason why I like to set the orange first is, and even if I color correct, like any client or even my own under eyes, typically I always set the color corrector first and then I'll go in with the concealer, which I know goes against all rules of makeup because once you powder something, you should not go back on top with another product. If I'm doing only under eyes, I will just very, very lightly powder them. This, again, this is why I said if you decide to wear eyeshadow primer and eyeshadow, it might get a little bit cakey because you have to just keep powdering, setting, layering powder. So yeah, use at your own discretion. So now I'm going to go on top. This is the Juvia's Place Concealer. This is number 20. I am running really low on this. So I also have the Magic Concealer, or the Magic Foundation by Juvia's Place. And this is color Capris 630. So the reason why I'm choosing these are because they are super, super, super full coverage. You want to choose a product that is going to be very full coverage because, again, some of the orange, if you're using a very light coverage foundation or concealer, the orange will seep through. So I'm going to try my best to scrape some of this out. Oh, look, I actually got some. And don't be afraid to go heavy because you need the coverage. So I'm just going to tap this on. I don't want to wipe it on because I'm afraid if I wipe it on, it might wipe the orange underneath off. And again, I'm going pretty heavy on this. This is why, again, warning of cakiness. All right, so then just taking a clean beauty blender and again, just very, 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 very lightly, just going in and blending this out, and I'm bringing it all the way up to my brow bone, which up here hurts more than the actual eyelid. But that is okay. We will use caution. Alright, so over here, obviously it's getting pretty cakey because I already put concealer underneath my eye and powdered it. What I should have done was do my eye first and then my rest of my face foundation, but the black eye looked worse when I didn't have concealer on, so I was like, ooh, no. So it's a little patchy, so what are we gonna do? We're gonna go back in and powder it again, which doesn't make any sense, but I'll show you how to fix it. Okay, so I do definitely want to go back in and fix this area, and it's still looking just a little bit orange compared to this eye. So because it's looking very cakey, in between layers, I like to use a moisture spray, not a setting spray. A setting spray will have alcohol in it. The Urban Decay All-Nighters, those type of sprays, those are setting sprays. I just want to use moisture. So I will be taking, this is the Facial Spray with Aloe, Cucumber, and Tea by Badescu. And I'm gonna spray my eyeball. And this will help with, like I said, cakiness and taking away kind of like that powdery look. I'm gonna go back in with one more layer of concealer. I think I may be able to get away with only concealer because I think I might have enough. And instead of putting it all over, I'm just going to put it in the center and use this to blend out all the way to the edges. So again, you're just kind of adding more and more concealer wherever you think you need it. So I'm actually just going on my other eye right now with more concealer just because I feel like my left eye got a little bit like brighter than this eye. So I'm just going back in and just adding a little bit. All right, and voila, there we go. Like I said, the side's still a tiny bit orange. What you can always do is go in with like a brightening powder like this one and just kind of apply it right on the bottom. Again, if you're worried about too much cakiness, you can just leave it. As soon as you put mascara on and curl your eyelashes, the eyelashes will, depending on the length of them, should cover up like your eyelids, so they'll just kind of curl up and you won't see the orangeness at all. Either way, I like to have a little bit stainage of orange than a black eye. But yeah, again, I just went back in and sprayed it with more moisture spray, and then just kind of took a beauty blender and just very lightly kind of set that in, and just so it didn't have to repowder it because it was wet. But overall, it's not too cakey, which is good. All right, you guys, thank you so much for watching. I know this was kind of like a quick, unexpected video, but again, I just figured might as well take up the opportunity to show you guys. Again, just to put it out there once more, this was from a sledding accident, just because, again, I don't want anybody assuming anything crazy. So thank you guys again. I will have a few new videos coming up, hopefully later, like this weekend or in the beginning of next week. Because like I said, this one definitely was not planned. All of the products that I use will be down in the description box as always. And until the next one, bye!